Welcome, everybody, to this special educational session on voiceovers and executive communication. So we are going to cover today some really important topics. How to set up your in-home voiceover space on a budget. How cool is that? And then also, what voiceover equipment and technology do you need? And yes, business communication is profitable. So I'm so excited to bring our guest into our space here. Please meet Mark Neely. Hey, Mark, how are you today?
Good morning, Debra, or good afternoon, where you are.
Listen to that voice. See, you already got everybody hooked.
Good morning. Good morning. No, I'm very happy to join you and looking forward to talking about what I do every day, which is why you see these headphones and all these other little toys. I'm working, but
You
this
are
is the
working.
best way to talk to you from here. So thank you. Nice to meet everybody.
Well, you look good and you sound good. So congratulations. You got it all wrapped up.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
So
Well,
Mark is a voice actor, and it's funny because he started his career in very high level executive sales. So I'm sure you were killing it at that. But for some reason, you took a $25 voiceover class. From there, you got
yes.
hooked. And you have worked at the highest level in film and TV and doing commercials for big brands like AT&T and some McDonald's and some of the top
Yeah.
names out there. So I think you're first off an inspiration that, to invest in yourself. $25 and you've launched your entire career. So that I think is amazing.
Thank you. Yes, it $25. And the stage was this big, and you still have the nervousness of how am I going to do this? Can it work? But I had worked for to my 40s. So I started this in my 40s, and all traveling the world 2 weeks of every month, I couldn't take it anymore. And I always knew I grew up talking at a pencil and hey everybody, how are you? Having fun with that. But I went to the class and I met some great people, and the voiceover world is full of wonderful, wonderful people who will share how it works. That's what happened in San Francisco, and I went from there, did modeling work, did TV things, and it just happened right away. I mean, it was the affirmation of having it happen made it happen, and moving to LA here is taking me other places. But yes, all the brands you've talked about, I'm on the radio now somewhere.
Well, and you're doing great at it. So, let's start this. So first, before we jump into like the mechanics of setting up a space within your home, because a lot of the people that are watching this video are up and coming Well World TV hosts. They're just getting started. The question has already come up. Should I get a voiceover person for my videos? Should I do my own voiceovers? So tell us first, what is a voiceover exactly? And then let's jump to how do we set up a space in our home on a budget?
We're voice actors. So we're acting with a microphone. You see some of my equipment there. There's what we call a pop filter, so that there's not the peas or whatever or any moisture gets on the microphone. That's what this tool is for. And there's many other things, but it can be a simple way if you have a message that people want to really understand and get across and feel for, then you have that ability to do it. But you need to know how to set up, and it's not that hard. But this is the age where you can type up Google and find out just about anything you need. But you want to look at your budget, you want to look at what you're really trying to do, and go from there. Your message is more important than even this equipment. I often tell people that I work with, well, if I just get this microphone, if I spend all this money on this thing, I've got $3,000 worth of microphones here. But when I first started, my first national advertisement was with State Farm. I had a $35 microphone from Radio Shack. Some of you might not know who Radio Shack might be out there.
I do.
I'm old school. But that was sometime way in the back. So no, they had that microphone, and I won that job because of what I could do, not because of the equipment. There are no angels that are going to jump out of the box if you buy something expensive or buy something just because, ooh, that looks shiny, that looks nice. It's your skill to be able to portray your message in authentic, in a real way.
Yeah, I think that's a really important point that you're making, because a lot of people want to wait until they think they have, the right video thumbnail, the right, content. I need to practice. I need to wait till I get the right microphone or the right camera.
Yeah.
And I love what you're saying, which is have the passion and purpose focus first and just get going, because as you start to attract attention and get business, then you can invest and kind of upgrade what your equipment is. So what are the basic pieces that you feel like somebody would need to have in place to really build a voiceover space?
Yeah, for anybody who really is starting, the brand new person who wants to do this, I typically say let whatever you might earn pay for the equipment. Don't go out and buy the $1,000 microphone or this, and that. But what you really need are three basic things: your laptop, your computer. What we call, you can get a USB microphone. You know what a USB plug is on the side of your computer. You can get microphones that are $50, $100, $1,000, but usually you can find something that's $50 and has a little tripod stand that could be on your desk, and you can work from there. Or, which is probably the better sound, if you want to continue to upgrade in the future, they have what is here, a 3-prong plug to most microphones is called an XLR. And you can see that 3-prong right there, which will go into this tool. This is called an interface. This is one of the interfaces. This is made by Focusrite. And it just has the connections there where you have your microphones and plugs from the microphone into your computer. So a XLR cord, an interface, and then whatever microphone you're choosing. If you have one that is that way, which is usually called a phantom power microphone. So I'm not going to get too technical with it, but USB.
Is that literally stuff that people can get on Amazon and at Best Buy and some of the local things? So they don't have to go to a special audio type store or something.
And they're numerous. You know, Musician's Friend, B&H, Pro Audio, Sweetwater. Those are the ones where the professionals. I go to there all the time for things I need. But Amazon, all these products are on Amazon, or again Best Buy, wherever you want to go. But those are the two different types. Just a USB microphone, which typically sounds a little tinny. It doesn't have the real feel that you might get with some of the other microphones. Hello, Debra, how are you? No.
I think I have that. Yeti, is the Yeti one of those types?
Yeti has, I think, USB, which plugs right into the computer, and you can set it up with your sound system, but they're easily adaptable. The computer always recognizes a new plug-in, the download. You can put the software right there on the computer. Or, again, as I described, the XLR with the 3-prong into the microphone. Here's one. I don't know if you can see. This is made by Neumann. It's a German microphone, one of the better ones. Okay. This is one, and this is a $2,000 microphone. I'm not on it now, but it's one that I through my work I use. Take some time to just go look on, search it, Google or Yahoo. You'll find different ones, but you start out with what you want to spend, not trying to get the very best of these. Your issue is whether you can communicate it. Can you say it? Are you authentic? Can you really perform? And it's voice acting. It doesn't hurt to even take an acting class if you're wanting to try to really be a part of how to communicate something. This is to the voiceover world, or if you're going to do podcasts, we'll talk about, that's another thing. But if you want to be a voiceover person, on a budget, that's one way you want to start. And the other part of this is also the sound of where you are, your environment. I started out, you can go buy, let me just say, you can go buy something that's $5,000. It looks like a padded coffin. And you think there's no sound, but you can't hear. They can't hear. You can't hear things outside of you. And typically what I'll say, once the landscapers stop or the dog starts barking, go. There's nothing that's totally quiet. But so in my garage, I built these panels. There's one behind me. This is a door that I had. Yeah, it's a door. Actually, I bought from Lowe's that was closing, and I attached the sound panel to it, which is is acoustic fabric behind it in a burlap of cover, and I just hooked it to it hangs on the door and has rollers on the bottom, and I can move these back and forth as I need. I have a carpet on the floor, and I have moving panels that I hook to the top of the garage that makes it an enclosure. And the top engineers in the country have heard my sound, and they say it's fine. A lot of the commercials you'll hear me on I come from here every day.
Yeah. Well, I think I was sharing the story with you on the first TV show that I did that was for PBS, so this was television quality voiceover that I needed to create. I bought an inexpensive Yeti mic. I locked myself in the closet. I had a clothes hanger with some pantyhose over it to stop the crackling. I'm sure there's an official term for it.
Yeah.
And I literally recorded all of my voiceovers and sent them into my editor to include them in the TV show. So, again, you're right. It's affordable. Everybody probably has a space within their home, unless they're in like a teeny tiny, really noisy apartment,
Right.
to really build something that will be workable.
Closet.
Exactly. That's where I was, the closet.
Debra, I've actually had a commercial. I did a commercial for Motown the Musical, which was a Broadway show. I did all their advertisement over the East Coast and wherever the play was going. I was in San Diego on a trip in a hotel. I had a towel over my head. That's a studio. If you have an enclosure that keeps it quiet and you can still see your copy, you can still do the things you need to do, you can record it. And if it's quiet enough, it's fine. You don't need I call it a big chandelier or diamond doorknob studio. And, I hear angels. No, just something that's silent enough that deadens there's no echoes. That's what you want to go after. So, going to a bathroom, obviously that's the worst. You hear the echoes. But if you can find a closet, clothes are a perfect sound dampening situation. So the sound does not bounce around. That's all you're looking for. Fancy is not what this world is about. Your fancy is how you communicate. What's the message? And most voiceovers now is not the ones we grew up with. Hi, go to this, do that. It's the authentic part of what they want to go. They say conversational. Right. That's the most persuasive. The way we're talking to each other now, that's what voiceover, we're talking passionately about you do that at Well World TV. You don't need to have put on a voice to make the message clear. People see and understand your passion. So that's it. Those are the basics.
So when we talk about the budget, again, a lot of these people are just starting out. So to get the USB microphone, the XLR, the interface, creating their little kind of soundproofed space, whether it's in a closet with clothes, and how can somebody get going on $300, $500?
Absolutely. I'd say that $300 to $500 and you're on your way. And even less than that, if you have, I think you would just want to really practice, listen. And then when you have that money and expense, you're there. This is again, another world. You can make it happen, but listen to people, mimic them, and you're on your way. But $300 to $500, Debra, is absolutely doable.
Well, let's move on to, I'm fascinated to hear what you have to say about this topic. So, communicating efficiently, using business communication and making it profitable. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, my former career was executive sales. I was a VP of sales, and I worked in aerospace, worked in semiconductors, and I traveled around the world for that work. I loved it to a certain point. I couldn't do it anymore, as we talked about. But if you look at any executive that's on TV in an interview, or if somebody that's the CEO or even a manager that stands up and talks about what they're going to talk about, you can hear that they have some gravitas or power to what they're saying, so you can hear it and believe it. You go to the next level, the manager, even somebody that's cleaning up. Hey, what's up? Hey, yeah, okay, yeah. They're not as powerful. Executive speaking is profitable. It's money. Not only your skill that you know how to do the job, but you have to be able to communicate in a way that's believable, it's persuasive, it's strong. I mean, the words that I've seen with people that really, really promote this: power, passion, and purpose. Power, passion, and purpose. That's what executive speaking is. In this work, for voiceover, for an executive, you got to eliminate the you knows and likes.
I use that all the time.
Yeah, you have to. You cannot. I just believe for someone who wants to be of that status, and you can affirm this, you don't have your CEO or run your own business. You cannot be somebody that's even running an ice cream parlor and stand up there. What you like? What kind of ice cream you like?
Yes.
You're believable. It's profitable for somebody to understand you. If somebody says, what'd you say all the time? That's another reason that you must communicate properly, but also recognize, and no one is perfect on this, especially when you're thinking about what you want to say or what you want to you say back to someone, but you've got to really be conscious of the
So,
yes.
It's almost as if we're trying to fill dead space and we're not comfortable with gaps.
Yes.
So,
there's no reason for that. You don't have to fill those spaces with noise that does not communicate what you want to say. So the other part of this too, and it's not to downgrade genders or anything, but this happens with men too. But you might have a state. Almost every statement I hear with some people, they have upspeak, where you'll have and we'll talk about this. Would you like to talk about this? And what do you think about this? And all that does to me is creates a question that you don't believe what you're talking about. If it sounds as if you don't believe it or you're not sure, your listener is going the other way also.
Question, like if you're kind of going along and on a high note, it's like you're not, you don't believe what you're saying or something.
And all the things that we get in the habit of saying. Can I ask you a question? It's just a straight line. Confidence is more important than all of it. I think there's no perfect part of this, but confidence that you portray and whether people believe what you're saying, that's paramount, especially coming from sales. And you just cannot be someone that people don't believe.
So I think probably what I would advise, maybe you can concur, is practice. Start recording yourself and then go back, because you'll catch those things. In the moment, you're not aware necessarily,
right?
But then you'll find those lilts, those gaps, those space fillers, all those things. I know I say some words like wanna, WANNA. Yeah. That's not appropriate. Well, I want to say that, but I shouldn't say that.
We're not asking that you be on guard every 24 hours. Okay, what did I say? Did I say that right? No, recognize that great communication is profitable. That has to be, I think, the headline of this whole discussion, or anytime. Why do I need to speak? No, I'm not going to talk like that. If you're in a business and you want people to have access to what you're presenting or selling or offering, you've got to communicate that this is the best one out there. And there's no way you can do that if you're talking in a way that is not understandable. It creates doubt. It's not strong. It's not powerful. You don't see a print ad that says, buy my Cheetos. It's not it's not typed out. So why were you saying it?
They're pretty good.
Right. So to me, that's what executive speaking is. It's a profitable way to go in a corporate world or business, which is we're all this is a business. My work is a business. Your world is a business. The people that you have on, I know. I haven't watched all the videos, but I know everybody there is a great communicator. And there's no reason anybody can't, unless you just cannot do it. But you need to be conscious of it, just like everything. Conscious of how you're speaking. How do people hear you? How do people hear you? And realize that is a money-making process if you communicate in a great way.
Most of the hosts here at Well World TV are, they're representing themselves as an expert. So to your point, they need to have that CEO and executive level conversation, because they want people to trust them and understand what it is that they're sharing with them in a confident sort of way. So I think it's really important for, my host in particular to really understand the value of executive communication. I hadn't heard it phrased like that, but I think that's a great way to put it.
Back to voiceover, the moment you say hello is the first voiceover. The way you speak is profitable. There's money out of that, and don't stomp on that message especially if it's a great one.
It's almost as if you're stumbling in your voice and you're not confident in yourself or how you're representing yourself. Why would your audience believe you? So investing time and energy and having that executive level confident sort of conversation and speech is very important. And to your point, it may not result in like, I'm getting hired to do this, but you're hiring yourself to represent your brand, and you need to speak it as clearly and confidently as you can.
Right. Yeah, go back to manifestations and affirmations. Those need to be part of that. And if you don't, that's fine. We all start somewhere. But just as with we talked about with voiceover, listen to the people that do, mimic them. Uh, some people may worry about a so-called accent or so forth. Still be yourself, but just you understand you need to be understood. If somebody's saying all the time, they're saying what to you, and you have to work on it, just like you work on anything else. It's all over. You can overcome it. Whatever language or country may come from, or area of the country. Some people think if you're from the South, it's not. I really, even with the people I work with in voiceover, not to leave who you are. You still need to be authentic. Don't leave that, but we need to understand you. So that's the only part of that. You need the world to understand you. Accents and different dialects are great. They're fine. In fact, again, stay who you are. But do I understand it? If there's a certain word or phrase that you have that is just work on that. Just work on it. It's all you can do it. Believe that. And that's what part of your affirmation is. I'm going to be an executive speaker that is profitable. And you start from that moment.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, speaking of profitable, tell everybody what you do if they can reach out to you, and then I'm going to pop up your website here. So we've got tvradiovoiceover.com.
I have very small and selective workouts. I call them workouts. I say to people, Michael Jordan went to practice. So we've all got to practice, as we talked about the speech part or whatever we want to do. But for people interested in this world, the main message that I got from one of the biggest voices there ever was, and his name is Bill Ratner. He's one of the major stars here from LA, and he worked all around the world. He worked all the time. He just told me, I said, there's got to be a secret to how you do this. Is there a knock on the door? How does this work? I said, just don't give up. And he walked away. So what? Just don't give up. If this is something that's in you and you cannot live without it and you really want it, there's going to be a path for you to find it. Don't give up. As most of the people on Well World TV and the products and the messages they have, they just haven't given up. And that's what this part of it is. But I'm there every week on Wednesdays and Thursdays, 5 p.m., Skype. And if people want to look toward this world, and it's a wonderful world, once you find it, that's where I am. And I'm there on Skype. So look at my website and reach out, or through you, we'll make it happen.
tvradiovoiceover.com. Reach out to Mark. He's ready to help you transition to your new voiceover career and start making profit from that. So feel free to reach out to Mark. And thank you so much for joining us today and sharing your wisdom with everybody who is going to tune in, and most particularly my upcoming hosts who need this information to go to their next level. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Debra.